Hey, what's up, guys? 98 Sports Talk here. Smash that sub button and turn on those notifications if you want to be notified of when I'm putting out a video. Let's try to build up this SEC community here. Let's get into this video. I wanted to do a video and talk about what coaches I think are going to still be around in the next 4 years, and I'll go alphabetically in reverse order. And let's start it off with Vandy. Derek Mason, I don't think he's going to make it. I think he actually could get fired at the end of this season. Vandy just hasn't looked good. Vandy's not going to look good at the end of the year. It is what it is at Vandy. Next up is Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo's definitely going to be here in 4 years, no doubt about it. I think A&M is going to trend up, and we'll see what Texas A&M can do. At the end of the year, maybe 8 wins. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about that. Tennessee and Jeremy Pruitt. Here's another one. I definitely think Jeremy Pruitt's going to be around in 4 years. I think Tennessee's going to be pretty good. Jeremy Pruitt, to me, is a really good head coach. Next up, Will Muschamp at South Carolina. I think, a lot of people don't really like Muschamp, or I shouldn't say that. A lot of people maybe aren't as high on Muschamp as I am. I think Muschamp's a really good coach. He's in South Carolina, which, doesn't have a lot of tradition, a lot of history. So it's kind of tougher for him being at South Carolina. But I think he's a really good head coach. I definitely think he'll be here in 4 years. Next up, Barry Odom at Missouri. I don't see Odom being there in 4 years. You guys can let me know what you think. But I don't see him making it. I think Missouri's going to be subpar in the East for years to come. At least till they get a new head coach. And then, obviously with a new head coach, we can see what happens. Next up, Mississippi State and Joe Moorhead. This is an interesting one. Obviously, Joe Moorhead's going to be heading into his first season. I think Moorhead will be there. I think he's going to be a pretty good head coach. I don't know how good he's going to be. A lot of people think he saved James Franklin's job up at Penn State, doing a pretty good job with the offense up there. So, we'll see what Mississippi State's going to be this year. If you guys want to check out my Mississippi State videos, go ahead and watch those. But I'm going to say yes on Moorhead in 4 years. Ole Miss, Matt Luke. Who knows? I mean, I don't know about this one. You Ole Miss fans, let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and say no on Matt Luke. Who knows? He could turn out to be good, but he's kind of, got his back up against the wall right now. Ole Miss doesn't have a lot of talent, and also you've got, the violations that occurred there. So, Mississippi State's, they could be Ole Miss could be in a tough run the next couple of years. So I'm going to say no on Matt Luke. Ed Orgeron, here's an interesting one at LSU. I don't think Coach O, sadly, is going to make 4 years. Because I like Coach O. He's always talking to the media. He's not shy to let you know what he thinks about his team. Is he a pretty good head coach? I think he is. Is he an elite head coach? No, I don't think he is. So I don't think he's going to last 4 more years. But who knows? I could be wrong. We'll see. A lot of that depends on what Nick Saban's going to do as well. But we'll get to Saban here in a second. Kentucky's next with Mark Stoops. Do I think Stoops is going to be there? He probably will. Kentucky just doesn't have high expectations. I actually think that Kentucky could have a decent season for Kentucky this season. Next up, Kirby Smart at Georgia. I definitely think Kirby Smart is going to be there in 4 years. I think Kirby Smart is going to be at Georgia as long as Kirby Smart wants to be at Georgia, which I don't see Kirby's as going anywhere. He's an alumni of Georgia. I don't, unless he wants to go to the NFL, I don't see him taking another college job. I think there's zero chance of that, actually. I think he's where he wants to be, so I think he'll be there in 4 years. And he's obviously got the ball rolling for Georgia. Next up, we got Dan Mullen at Florida. This is kind of an interesting one. I'm going to say Mullen is going to be there in 4 years, but Florida's got really high expectations, and we'll see what Florida can do this season. I'm thinking 8 wins at Florida this season. Florida's got some talent and a pretty easy schedule, so I'm going to say yes in 4 years at Mullen, but. For Mullen, but would he be there in 6 years? I don't know about that one. I would probably say, lean to the no side if you were asking the question a little bit differently, if you were to say 5 or 6 years. But I'll say yes in 4 years. I think they at least got to give Mullen 4 years there in Gainesville. Auburn and Gus Malzahn. This is kind of an interesting one as well. Obviously, he just signed the new contract, and Nick Saban has a lot to do with him being there or not being there. Gus could have been fired at the end of this previous season, but do I think he's going to be there? I'm going to say yes. I think Gus Malzahn will last 4 years, but that's a tough call. Auburn fans, let me know what you think about Malzahn down in the comment section. Next up is Chad Morris at Arkansas. I do think he's going to be there in 4 years. I mean, you just got to, Arkansas is in a really bad spot right now. So, you got to give Chad Morris some time to dig the Razorbacks out of the hole. So I'm going to say yes there. And finally, we got Nick Saban at Alabama. This one is a really interesting one as well. Saban's been so good for so long. But, the only question right now is how long is he going to stay? Is he, and I don't think he's going to entertain an NFL job. I think if he was going to do that, he probably would have done that by now, definitely probably this season. So I think he's going to retire from Alabama. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes, that he is going to be there another 4 years. Obviously, that could change depending on how Bama does. Now, if you ask me, again, if we change this to 5 or 6 years, the answer would be no. I'm going to say 4 years is the limit on Saban. He is getting older, so I think this could be kind of his last full cycle of recruits. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.